The Peter Cartridge Company. Joseph Warren King purchased Austin and Carlton Powder Mill in 1855 and expanded it under the name Miami Powder Company. The expansion included the company town Goes Station, Ohio. Joseph King sold the company in 1877 to build the Great Western Powder Works with the support of the company town King's Mills downstream from Goes Station. King's son-in-law, Gershom Moore Peters, began working at the powder mill in 1881 and became president in 1885 when King died. Peters formed the Peter Cartridge Company at King's Mills in 1887. By 1889, they were manufacturing 4,000 cartridges per hour. Tragedy begins. Loaded railway cars being shunted at the powder works on July 15, 1890, triggered an explosion, killing 12 people and setting fires that destroyed the railroad station, freight house, 2 office buildings, shell factory, cartridge loading plant, large warehouse, and 6 employee residences. Wood structures were rebuilt across the river, including a large shot tower in 1895. The last wooden structures were the machine shop R3 and shotgun loading building R21, built in 1907. Approaching World War I, the company received ammunitions orders from the Russian Empire and United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. Money from the wartime contracts were used to update and replace the wooden structures with brick structures and reinforced concrete structures. Remington Arms bought the Peter Cartridge Company in 1934, where they expanded the facilities during World War II to include the federally owned King's Mills Ordnance Plant manufacturing military ammunition. The military ammunition ended in March of 1944, and Remington sold the facility to Columbia Records. Columbia Records manufactured 78 RPM records until 1949. When 45s became popular. They then leased much of the building to Seagram's Distillers as a warehouse space until 1968. The site was listed as a Superfund National Properties List site by the EPA on April of 2012 for copper, lead, and mercury soil contamination. The future and now. The site is now owned by Bloomfield Schoon and Associates, who is developing the site into residential and retail space after receiving the green light from the EPA. The plan is to fill the majority of the floors with 135 apartments. This includes a premium 4-story suite in the center tower near the entrance that will have a coffee house at the base. Both above and underground parking is planned for the residents and visitors. The site is listed on the National Register of Historic Places, so preserving everything as much as possible is required for the final design. The Cartridge Brewing Company will be a flagship tenant. They will take up residence in one of the rear buildings. This is only but a small look into such a rich, historic place. I hope you enjoy the video and history we have found.
So this is the old powder factory. Of course, it's not that anymore. They're renovating it to, I don't know if they're going to put offices in here or what's going on, but regardless, it's pretty cool to see it being revitalized. Look at a big stack up there. Cool. This place is supposed to be pretty haunted. We're going to stop and do a burst E.V.P. session down the road here. We don't have permission to enter the property, but we can walk all around it. So we can, see if we get anything on the outside here. It's cool to see things like this around here now. So we have this. Pretty cool. I actually kind of like that. Conservation sign. And as you can see, they're doing a lot of work over here to begin with. I think that's pretty important. Once again, the big stack up there. I just can't get over that. I think that's awesome. This is a nice little walking path, bike path, whatever you want to call it. So you can pretty much walk around the outer part of the perimeter as much as you like. As you can see, there's I'm not sure which building was what. One of them was served purpose of a warehouse, I do believe, and the other was the actual factory. And then there's another building back there as well. So what I would like to do is stop somewhere over here by this sign. Actually, we can stop right here. I think we're far enough away from the traffic. We're going to have to deal with some of that. We can't get out of it, so let's just do a burst E.V.P. session, see what we find. This is Joe with E.V.P.S Paranormal. Figure we'd stop out here, see if anybody has any stories left untold, things you want me to tell your loved ones, or tragedies that no one knows about. Just speak loudly and clearly. We can hear you in the microphone. What can you tell me about this place? Are there any secrets? Maybe things that no one wanted anyone else to know? Again, my name is Joe with E.V.P.S Paranormal. I come in peace and going to leave the same. If you have anything that you would like to tell me, now's the time. I'm going to let this record for another 30 seconds and shut it off. Okay, I thank you for your time. As you can see, all the construction equipment in there, they're completely rehabbing the buildings. Which again, progress is nice. I wish I would have got in here to actually do a full-on investigation before this had happened, but it's rather hard to get in here. Notice the hillside over there. A lot of conservation efforts have went into keeping the soil where it's at. I don't know any more beyond that. I'm actually going to have to look myself. I don't know what those leftover concrete structures are, but I definitely endeavor to find out. So this is the back side of it before I start heading back. Very cool place, very big, very massive. Again, I wish I could have got in here before they started the renovation. I would have loved to have done a full-on investigation. By the time that I got to the point where I figured out who was what, it was already too late to do anything. So here I am now on the outskirts, trying to do what I can on the outside here, because I'm a believer that if something is imprinted here, it's pretty much going to be imprinted until it's removed. Notice the other structure way off in the back there. I don't know again what that is, but kind of has the same similarities as those over there. I'm going to look those up actually and find out what those were, because I'm not really sure. Very cool place. I think the actual name was the Peters Cartridge Factory or company. Oh, you know what? Here it is, right here on the back side. This is actually another really cool thing that they do down here. The Ohio Historical Society, I believe, takes care of all this. Peter Cartridge Factory was once a major employer in the region, providing munitions for Allied forces during World Wars I and II. And if you look, that's the actual layout of the land there. So I'm guessing this bridge here would have been over that way, coming across the river, and this would have been the major road going up. These buildings are gone now. I think there's a parking lot or something over here, but very, very cool. I mean, as you can tell, that even back then it was massive. So yeah, pretty cool place out here. So I wanted to walk over here to this plaque, kind of give you guys a little idea about this place. We're gonna actually do a lot more research, but Grisham Moore Peters LLD. There you go. There's a little information.